here under involve is celebrate small victories. Now, I want to spend just a second on this before we take a break here in a minute. When I say celebrate small victories, here's what I mean by this. Throughout the 2 or 3 days that you're going to be together, there are going to be times when you hear something come out of someone's mouth that is a small victory. Yesterday, I really loved it when, and they'll say that this happened. And they may just be saying it to one another. Leon may just be mentioning it to Willie. And so if you hear that, I think it's important in a small group discussion time to recognize that, Willie, I heard you say earlier today that, and you fill in the blank, whatever that was. And so you want to give Willie a chance to celebrate small victories. I talk a lot about on our mission trips as I lead them, something called crystal moments. And crystal moments are those times in your life. If we went around the room today, many of you have one or many of them. Crystal moments are times in your life where you can remember almost the sight, the smell, the taste, the feeling, the temperature of a place that you've been. Do you ever remember that whole thing? I'll never forget being on the hillside in Corbin, Kentucky. We built a house for a woman named Nadine and her son Nick. And I sort of wandered away, Tim, from the group up on the hillside, and I watched and listened as our group of 27 middle and high schoolers finished off the framing of that house. And if we sat down together today, I can tell you exactly what time it was. I can tell you what it smelled like that day. I can tell you it was hot that day, and I was kind of sweating, and there are times in my life where I get that feeling again where I'm immediately taken back to Corbin, Kentucky. Do you guys remember those times? There's some times in your life where you remember the smell of an amusement park, or you remember the sort of the taste of that first time that you had, what did you guys call that, bitter melon? Is that some of you had some of that? Yeah, right? And so you remember it immediately. So here's the thing. You can help to create crystal moments in people's lives by letting them express small victories. I'll never forget the night that my mom and I sat down in my living room, and my mom said, she called me Timothy, she still does. Timothy, tonight we could make sure that your name is written down in the Lamb's Book of Life in heaven if we prayed this prayer together. And there it was. I remember sitting right there on our vinyl couch, and she prayed the prayer with me, and I prayed back with her. And I remember it like it was today. And I remember over and over again getting to tell that story, and it sort of has created this crystal moment of mine. So what I want you to do as a leader in your small groups or a leader in your teams is to make sure that if you hear of a small victory, that you somehow elevate that to where people get a chance to share it. Does that make sense? Yep. Good. All right, any questions or thoughts? I want to take a break here in a minute.